Welcome, fellow Clashers, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out the Clash Royale SuperCHARGED deck. This deck all about getting to the tower. It's got the Prince, the Dark Prince, the Hog Rider, and a freeze spell. So not really a great defensive deck. It's more going on the offensive, keeping the pressure on your opponent. Now this replay was a level 11 battle. We've got a level 8 battle coming up in a little bit. But there goes my Dark Prince from the back. And I usually try to couple him with another charging type unit, so the Hog Rider in there as well, but he's countered by minions and the Prince. And right away we can see some of the weakness in this deck. I haven't left myself with much to defend here, and the Prince is going to get to my tower. The arrows only take out the small units, and I am behind already as the Prince and these archers do some severe damage to my right lane. In fact, it is down, and I am down 1 crown to 0 very quickly, but this is the type of deck that can come back from deficits like this. So he gives me the good luck. Well, we'll just see about that. I was not real happy about my position here, but again, not giving up. I've got the Prince and the Dark Prince this time together, so the splash damage to help protect the Prince. Usually they can get to the tower. Here we were stalled by some units and a fireball, but I've got support from the wizard. Lots of units moving in here, and we are quickly going to tie this up 1 crown apiece. And this is where this deck shines. The pressure is on my opponent. He's panicked. He's putting down units that are ineffective. The archers melted away, and the King's Tower melted away as well. A very quick, lightning fast 3 crown win. Oops is right, coming from behind. 3 crowns to 1. So I'd really have to say the anchor card in this deck is the Dark Prince. That splash damage able to work on large groups of ground units, and that helps clear the way for the regular Prince or the Hog Rider. So that is the combination I'm usually looking for here. The beginnings of these battles almost always starts with a 2-unit push. Rather than waiting and reacting to how he is coming at me, I try to come at him. This time, we've got Dark Princes from both directions, Wizard and Dragon, so a pretty even match right here. I throw a freeze, not very effective because it misses the Dragon. My bad, that's a big waste. And the opponent with the win in that exchange coming at my tower. I've got the minions and the goblins, the small cheap cards to try to slow down attacks like this, but it can be weak against golems, and we'll check that out in the next replay. Right here, the minions move forward, taken out by the goblins and the tower. Again, not a whole lot happening yet. I'm choosing not to defend against those goblins, rather saving up my elixir for another big paired push of a couple of charging units. And here we go. Barbarians will be met by the Dark Prince, but he's got his own Dark Prince, and that group tightens up and comes within range of my tower. But the victor is again the opponent, whose Dark Prince gets to my tower. Finally, my wizard takes him down and moves forward. Now the wizard, I try to pair him with the Hog Rider. Again, sending in just 1 unit by himself isn't going to be very effective. You can see a couple of units here. The Hog Rider does get some good damage in on that tower, and the wizard, a couple of great shots right here. A lot of health off that dragon, and 2 of the 3 goblins out of the way. These minions finish them off, and we are back into reset. No units on the battlefield, a minute 18 to go. So again, waiting for my elixir to charge up so that I can charge forward. I've got the Prince and the Dark Prince both ready. So again, I will start from the back. Now right here, I drop the Prince the same time as he drops his barbarians, but the Dark Prince in front, and he will charge forward, work on those barbarians. That will protect the Prince. The free spell looks good until he mirrors barbarians in behind. Now he's got a Dark Prince of his own. I've got goblins working on the barbs, all sorts of units, and for a moment it looks like I've got the upper hand, but they don't quite get there. He drops another Prince, and that prevents my units from getting to the tower. Wizard, Dragon, another Hog Rider, keeping the pressure on. And finally, I'm going to get the Hog Rider to the tower with the use of the freeze spell. And that is all I'm going to need, just long enough for the Hog Rider to take that tower down. And now it's just a matter of holding him off until time runs out. The Goblin Barrel, the Barbarians on the approach, but luckily I've got the minions, I've got the goblins as well, and that clears out that area. Looking good, 10 seconds remaining, and I'm just barely going to eke out the victory on this one. The key to this battle being that freeze spell that stopped those barbarians, gave the lone Hog Rider time to get in there and get that tower down. So we will move on to the third battle, and this one will be played with my level 8 account. So lower level cards facing another level 8 player, but the exact same deck as before with the Prince, the Dark Prince, and the Hog Rider. And right away, I've got the Prince and the Hog Rider ready. And my opponent, well, apparently he recognized me, I'm assuming. He also has a very suspicious name that ends in $15. So he's busy saying, wow, I'm busy figuring out how to get to the tower. The minions first, and then the Prince Dark Prince combination charging in right away. They should work to take down that witch, and they do. They get right on top of the tower. Again, with that splash damage, it works out well. Poison spell from him, freeze spell from me, and in just over 40 seconds into this battle, I'm going to take his first tower down for a 1-0 lead. But again, this is not a great defensive deck. So sometimes you can come back from behind like in the first battle, or in this case, despite the 1-0 lead so early into the battle, it is critically important to keep the pressure on, especially against a deck like this, Elixir Collector and the Golem. And that is bad news. I do not have any structures whatsoever to counter that Golem. And as I send in my Prince and my Hog Rider, here comes the Golem down the left-hand lane, and I will get a lot of damage in on this tower. In fact, I almost take it down so very close to a second crown, but I have two problems here. One being I don't have the right cards to counter a Golem, and the other being I don't have a lot of Elixir. The Wizard is really all I can do, and right here, the Goblins would have gone down, the Minions would have gone down immediately, Arrow's pretty much useless, so I choose to freeze, knowing that I'm probably going to lose this tower, but at least, hopefully, not get 3 crowned. And that is going to be the key, preventing the 3 crown loss right here, so that I can either take out his second crown tower or go after his king for the 3. He's got a lot of units moving in on me here. The Ice Wizard, the Witch, everybody pressuring me, and then he drops a Golem at the top of the screen. Not sure if that was the right move, because I am eventually able to clear out this mess on the left-hand side. And as the Golem comes at me, rather than really focusing on countering it, I'm going to focus on pushing down the left-hand side. I drop a Dark Prince on the right. It is not going to stop that Golem. And as the tower goes down on the left, I realize this is going to be suddenly another 3 crown win. He focused on that right tower, left himself open for the back door, and if it's a race for 3 crowns, this deck almost always comes out on top. Thank you guys once again for hanging out with me, spending a short part of your day with me. I promise to try to get my voice back to 100%. In the meantime, please do check out my other videos, subscribe for early balancing, update, and sneak peek information, and of course, get out there and make every attack a full attack.
Done.
Peter,
Stop talking.
You know what? Okay, you're right. You're right.